Hey everyone, this is Ollie from Sound Center. Very special video. Today we are standing in the hallowed halls of the Jackson Charvel Custom Shop. This is no doubt an incredible place. You know, so much history has happened here, and I'm lucky enough to have none other than Mr. Mike M.F. Shannon. How are you, man?
You got the spelling right. Thank you.
How are you, man?
Doing good, doing good.
So, yeah, man. You guys just came back from NAMM now, didn't you?
Yep, we just got through with NAMM a few days ago. It was an incredible show. Many people there. Enjoyed myself. Got to meet you also, and hopefully we have many more NAMMs.
Absolutely, man. Now, you guys had an incredible collection out this year as well. So we'll probably have some photos or some footage off of some of the incredible guitars that were there. Now, when we're talking custom shop guitars, do you have something that's a particular favorite of yours? Or like when you know a builder's particular coming, do you get excited about anything in particular?
I like to get some of the ones that are natural woods or, different shapes. Things that are unique, which luckily for me, that's what I get to do. And a lot of times, a big part of the artist guitars. So when they come through, which we're doing several at the moment for Scott Ian.
Beautiful guitars. Are we allowed to hear anything about them, or are they top secret?
I don't believe they're top secret. He has a V model that's been out for a while. A couple will be the Vs, and one is behind you, which is Extroyer. That'll be a custom for him. It'll be a short scale, and it's just in the rough stages now in the mill area.
Beautiful. So what I love about the Scottian guitars is that it is something a bit different in terms of that 24 3/4 scale length for Jackson. Is that something you guys have done in the past a lot, or is that new with the whole Extroyer Monarch sort of thing?
Well, it's basically request. I mean, we did a 27-inch scale for Phil Demmel last year, and he's trying to come up with some other ideas for new stuff now. I met him at NAMM, or I've met him before, but I saw him at NAMM again this year, and hopefully we get together and come up with some new stuff. And I know also I'm going to be getting with Mick Thompson also of Slipknot and coming up with some new stuff with him. I have no idea what that'll be yet, so keep your ears open.
That's the fun part, is you never know what's going to come around the corner, do you?
I have no idea. Well, I have ideas, but it's up to them what the ideas are.
Of course, and I guess what's so exciting is that I feel that in the past 2 years or so, the Jackson lineup has really become like a lot stronger than I've seen it in the past couple of years as well. I mean, it's always been incredible, but you've got such amazing artists out. You've got Mick Thompson, you have Marty Friedman come back into the ranks. So what's it like having all these incredible artists to work with? And yeah,
it's pretty cool. Having Marty back, honestly, was really nice. I mean, back in Megadeth days, we made him guitars, and then when he first came back, I don't know, it's probably been a few years now, we made him some Kellys. And then he got into more the Monarch type shape, which one of the custom ones that we made him had a cracked mirror top, which was unique because the plastic, it's not glass, it's a PVC plastic with mirror on the back. And I had a lot of trouble trying to get that mirror finish without it distorting with different methods of gluing it. So it's a secret that I laminated the mirror top to the wood with two-sided tape. Not many people would know that.
Jeez, well, is that actually, I saw there's a bit of a cracked mirror purple up there.
Yeah, these are some pick guards. You may have seen this one at the show. These are pieces for the 78 Eruption that are left over. There would be a Scott Ian style. And we're going to get to some other stuff. That was a custom one we did recently for a friend of mine, George. This goes back a few years. We had to change it because this is what I was talking about. There's distortion in here, which we don't like that. There's like a Phil Demmel pickguard, I believe. I made one of these for him, and there possibly one at NAMM a year ago that had something like this on it. Now we're at the Marty Friedman. This was one of the first tops. It was kind of experimental. This one didn't work, so that's why it's here. Anyway, when they don't work, we don't ship it. So
yeah, of course. Well, I guess that's the thing. The Jackson Custom Shop, as it always been, way back when it started back in the early 80s. And so you originally started working with Charvel guitars, is that correct?
Yes. It was still owned by Grover, and It was 1980 when I took full employment. I had a little brief couple weeks in '79, but full employment from 1980 till 2000, and I left Jackson for a Fender master builder job, and then a couple years later, Fender bought Jackson, and I was placed back into
Right back at home.
the depths of Jackson.
You're still here, and will be here forever, I imagine. I mean, like, why would you not? You've got, like I said, such an incredible array of artists to work with, and you basically get to build some of the most incredible instruments in the world.
Yeah, that, and also the support, the financial end of Fender. You know, we get really high-end CNC equipment. We get tools. I got a brand new area over here to do master builder final assembly. So if you yell loud enough, you'll get what you want.
Beautiful. So that's in 2019, but let's take things way back to when it all started. Now, the first ever Jackson guitar was, of course, a dream from Randy Rhoads. So how did the whole original Concorde come about? What was the process involved in building that?
The process in that was Grover and Randy would get together and talk. You know, the paper napkin sketch was always a true story. And Randy would come in sometimes and help develop the shape. And anyway, the first one was a bit large for him. So some months later, it was redesigned, and what we had done was just glued on big chunks of wood on the center blank, and then he came in one night and him and Grover traced on there what the shape was going to be. So we had cut it out, and he came back maybe another night or two later and checked it out, and we fine-tuned it to where it is the same shape as the production one today.
Beautiful. So that was like the original Concorde, and then the second evolution was the black and gold. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And that was a long time ago.
Absolutely. So, thinking back to then, when you were making, this Rhodes guitar, what was going through your mind? Did you know that you were creating something that was going to explode into, the stratosphere of guitar history? And when you were doing these in the 80s, did you know how big of an impact you were going to make and how big you were making?
No idea what the impact was going to be for the future, and then finding out that Randy had died was a showstopper, we thought, But we knew the guitar itself, before it left the factory, finished. It was probably one of the most incredible pieces that we had made at the time. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. And say, when you were designing, say, going through the 80s, you were designing the Kelly, you were designing the King V, the Warrior. What were the particular specs when you were making in terms of, we're going to make the neck feel like this, we're going to make the body contour feel like this? I mean, where do these ideas come from?
Specifically the Kelly, we had the shape, and we modified the Explorer shape into the Kelly. And the guy Kelly was from Australia, I believe, and from the band Heaven. Him and I traced it out on a piece of wood and then cut it out. And back then it had the cutouts on the rear end of the body and then the underneath side where it had real sharp cutouts and stuff like that, which that body shape also was very large, which we've done, I believe, a 25th anniversary run of those, I don't know, many years ago now. And it was a large body. And then later on we shrunk it down, took the cutaways out just due to the difficulty of the paint job and the graphics. It was really painting, buffing, and it was really difficult to make those areas look clean.
Absolutely. And if I'm not mistaken, the King V came about, that started off as a double Rhodes for Robin from Rad. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. And it fit him. He was a very large guy and very tall. So it looked really good on him. And then for most people, we needed to shrink it down a little bit, But it became a model then, and then Dave Mustaine liked it and used it for many, many years.
Beautiful. So, like we said, started off at Charvel, and that was sort of like the original custom shop, wasn't it? That's where everything started. Hot rodding Strats, adding these compound radius Floyd Roses.
Yeah, the Floyd Roses came in around 83 or 4, somewhere around that range, which was pretty cool because, like, the old NOS brass trem, it's hard to tune or keep in tune. It kind of changed a lot of things as far as having things stay in tune. I mean, not everybody wants a hardtail. Not many people were whammy players at the time, and when you want to be a whammy player, that's a lot easier for the players these days to bang on a Floyd. Yeah.
You used to be out of a good time with a whammy bar, get those squeals, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, suppose having started then and creating these incredible instruments over all of these years, for everyone that's at home, I suppose, what is it that the Jackson Custom Shop, what is it that makes the custom shop different, and what can the custom shop do?
Well, we're not copiers, we're innovators. We build what the player wants. Like Chris Broderick, for instance, he came in, we worked really closely on his specific design. Um, Jeff Loomis, same thing. It looks like a Kelly, but there's some hot rod issues in there that he added and wanted to change a little bit, which you'll be able to see those here real soon. There was, I believe, one at NAMM, so.
It was an absolutely stunning guitar. How did you go about creating that embossed logo on the headstock? We actually did a video with Peter from Jackson, and he took us through all the specs. So what was the process behind that headstock?
Well, I didn't really have anything to do with the embossed logo, so I'll have to leave that for other people to answer. Joe Williams is basically the main builder of the prototyping on that stuff, which there were some things that Jeff wanted in that project that were like, dude, you have any idea how fucking hard that's going to be to do in production? So we did a few things just to make it where it's actually possible to build, easier than just a simple one-off.
Of course, of course. And so you mentioned you got Joe Williams. Can you take us through who exactly works in this area, who creates all these instruments, and does everyone have particular specialties they like to take care of, or?
Their specialties, although they have abilities to do much more than what they commonly do around here. Joe Williams has been with me in the custom shop for around 5 years. He worked in our final assembly area for quite a while, and he's starting to be able to create his own stuff. He's becoming a really good woodworker. We have Red Dave
Floating around
somewhere. Hey, come over here. No, anyway. He basically specializes in the Charvel end of things. He came from the background of working in the Fender custom shop for many years, so it was kind of a good fit for him to come in as a master builder and do the bolt-on stuff. And then we have Pat Mcgarry, who has been working for Charvel Jackson since '82, which he's basically my right-hand man, basically collecting the woods, getting the woods to match, different things like that, and helps me keep things on time, I guess.
Of course, and I noticed Joe actually he tends to experiment a lot with a lot of the multi-scale fan fret sort of stuff. Would you say that's something he's particularly into? Or?
Yeah, he's actually learned CNC programming and stuff like that to where he can program up his scales, go to the CNC and cut them himself and stuff like that. So he's a pretty sharp guy.
Of course, and you know, like you said, being the Jackson Custom Shop and having Fender helping you out with all that state-of-the-art stuff, it really means that obviously the stuff that's done by hand is done to such a degree of precision, but it means that when you're using the machines to help it means it's flawless, right?
I think the humans can do better details sometimes than the machines. The machines repeat very well. A lot of it has, if the programming is detailed that well, that's awesome for us, but you still have a lot of handwork to do.
Of course, and that's why you guys come in with the experience and the know-how for creating such incredible guitars for, you know, so long. You know what to look at and what's going to work.
Yeah, the big equipment doesn't glue the sides on, doesn't book match the pieces of wood, you know, doesn't sand the back of the neck perfect, it doesn't put the frets in, doesn't put the binding on. I mean, there's all that stuff's done by hand.
Of course. And in terms of finishes, who takes care of all of these incredible finishes, like especially the ones from back in the day, like the cracked mirrors, the pile of skulls, the Bengal? I own one of the Bengal guitars, and it is incredible, absolutely flawless. So what's the process with all these? Who takes care of that?
We don't have a graphics department here, although it's actually my son Travis has been doing the graphics as far as like the bullseye, the spider web, the lightning bolt. That was part of the 40th anniversary. We have a graphic artist that used to work here that we had do the hot rod flames, but we're working on, I'm pretty sure, we're going to be getting more time to do graphics and stuff like that here.
Beautiful. So we'll be seeing a lot more pile of skulls and nebulas out there soon, right?
It's very possible.
Yeah, fingers crossed, guys. Well, guys, we've been hanging out today at the Jackson Custom Shop, which I am absolutely incredible excited to be here. It's an absolute honor. Mike Shannon, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you very much.
And guys, back home in Australia, Sound Centre is one of the most passionate dealers about all things high-performance Jackson guitars. So you've seen today that the Jackson Custom Shop can make absolutely anything you want. It's got such a rich history of these incredible artists playing all these incredible guitars. Whether you want something classic influenced or brand new in 2019, fan frets, whatever, they can do it. Thanks, guys. This has been Ollie from Sound Centre. We'll talk to you soon.